In 1990X, he loved to rock. It dated around the clock. To change, he'd be completely unwilling, despite the fact that to him it was killing. Everything he loved in his planet faded. Honestly, he had been totally degraded. A promising young man utterly embarrassed, who said the universe was the fairest. It definitely could have been me, taking out the dragged out path, not paying the fee. I didn't know him at this stage, but I heard it was quite the age. To know then was to know, a man who was trapped in snow. A one who was lost in his own, someone who had been completely blown. Couldn't take care of his kids, had no wife. If he had a buck, he'd take it with a knife. He never was sure who he was. He'd say the reason was just because. He'd treat everything like a game of charades. Then he'd end up wrapped in band-aids. He'd say he'd found Jesus, but the devil's who really frees us. Imagine now the same man, even though I'm not his biggest fan, standing in front of him preaching at church. His past had even helped him lurch forward and rise even higher. I must admit, I even took a flyer. He tricked me into believing nonsense, but for his part he took no offense. He gave his story in graphic detail, like the time he had to raise bell. He spoke with a special authority. He wallowed in his superiority. God's gonna throw you in a fire. He'd set himself up as the town crier. Are you not afraid of annihilation? Because I can give you the correct citation. He'd got everything together and had more kids. Never did nothing that Christ forbids. A pillar unbelievably strong, here he is diving headlong into society's decay and shame, holding everybody to the flame. Are you prepared for a tribulation? Because that train isn't leaving the station. The decay is strong in this one. Everyone will be judged for what they've done. I don't remember most of what he told me. I just remember how he made me agree that life requires you to be an extremist. I knew he'd leave and he'd be missed. That day I didn't understand and cried. I had to ask the next day out of pride. The women in his life took it all, because everything will go into a firewall. Only they could see the world in this manner. Follow him down and fly the banner. When he quit, it wasn't uprightness. I was surprised by his impoliteness. Everything has gone quite stale, he'd say as they tried with him blackmail. I had to get out of there. My sanity was living on a prayer. Sometime later I got a call. He'd done a reverse St. Paul. How'd you slide to what you were? Which part of life do you prefer? The rock had taken back hold. He'd found it like a new gold. He locked himself in the bathroom. He was back to doom and gloom. This time he threatened to end it all. Better change the locks in the hall. He wandered the street all alone, completely removed from his backbone. Put him on his knees, but don't believe anything he says and make him leave. The rock has made him his slave. It retaught him how to behave. What happened to the man from before? Maybe this is who he is at the core. Slumming around looking for a bed. Courts want to know what you fled. Employing a killer in construction. Is this really your best seduction? I've got to fix everything, he says. Throw off the rock. Elect a new prez. New job, new wife. Is this a new man? How could it be in such a short span? Heard about a new religion, and has got to find a new pigeon. If I'm right, he had to cast the user because the difference was vast. He found a place that didn't know how it used to move a lot of cargo. Somewhere in the country surrounded by trees, where you could stand out and feel the breeze. I always hated that these places bred the worst kinds of people at the head. Who'd really want to hear a speech from a man who's lived like a leech, sucking off everyone around him, like some sort of villain from Grimm? But the world's too real to have birds to peck out of the eyes of those who speak false words. I walked into the chapel, though I wasn't ready to grapple with a faith I no longer believed in. But to be fair, when I saw the bearded chin, despite his love of playing the scaremonger, he really wasn't a part of this any longer. You might say I don't believe in redemption, that I should have some sort of exemption, but my suspicion is that his whole intention is to control people by intervention. Maybe his lack of constancy is the key. It won't allow him to let people be carefree. I really don't care what he's saying today. I just feel bad for those who are his prey. There must be something inside brewing that could explain the directions of wooing. If you really think I've been unkind, maybe he's just the epitome of mankind.